Hello, and thank you for joining us for Trivia Tuesday. This trivia is not so trivial, but we hope to boost your human rights IQ. We have a special edition on criminal justice and criminal justice-related information. Let's go ahead and get started. Question 1. What was the largest single-day protest in the U.S.? Is it A, Women's March 2017, the Million Man March of 1995, the March on Washington for Lesbian, Gay, and Bi Equal Rights and Liberation of 1993, or D, March on Washington in 1963? The correct answer for this question is A, the Women's March of 2017. The Atlantic estimated that between 3.6 and 4.6 million participated in the protest in 550 cities in the U.S. and 100 others around the world. Question 2. What was the purpose of the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. on October 16, 1995? Was it A, to celebrate the U.S. military, B, to protect housing issues in Washington, D.C., C, to promote African American unity and family values, or D, to quell ambitions for future protests? The answer for this question is C, to promote African American unity and family values. The Million Man March was a political demonstration. Estimates of the number of marchers, most of whom were African American men, range from 400,000 to nearly 1.1 million, ranking it among the largest gathering of its kind in American history. Here's question 3. Between 2006 and 2013, how many protests in the world were related to human rights issues, including LGBTQI rights, women's rights, and labor rights? Is it A, 83, B, 257, C, 302, or D, 488? From 2006 to 2013, there were 302 protests on human rights throughout the world. Over that time period, this was the fastest growing cluster of protests. In October 2019, Amnesty International documented signs of human rights abuses and violations during protests worldwide. Which of the following countries was not reported in the list? Is it A, Hong Kong, B, Ecuador, C, Mexico, or D, Cameroon? The answer for this question is C, Mexico. Other countries included Bolivia, Lebanon, Chile, Spain, Iraq, Egypt, and the UK. Question 5. The rights to peaceful assembly and association are included in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In which of the following human rights treaties? Is it A, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, B, Convention on the Rights of the Child, C, International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, or D, all of the above? The rights to peaceful assembly and association are included in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and every major human rights treaty except the Convention Against Torture, as well as the regional and international labor organization treaties. Question 6. Which of these charges does not have an average sentence of 150 months in Minnesota? Is it A, second-degree unintentional murder, B, manslaughter, C, aiding and abetting second-degree murder, or D, third-degree murder? The answer is B, manslaughter. Manslaughter has an average sentence of 48 months in Minnesota. Derek Chauvin was originally charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter, which has since been upgraded to second-degree unintentional murder and manslaughter. Question 7. What is the purpose of bail in Minnesota? Is it A, to assure the defendant returns to court, B, to ensure public safety, C, to punish the defendant, or D, A and B? The Minnesota Constitution includes a right to bail in all cases before trial. In the cases involving the death of George Floyd, Derek Chauvin's bail was originally set to $500,000 and increased to $1.25 million by District Judge Janice Redding. The other former officers had their bail set at $750,000. Question 8. Who is the Minnesota Attorney General? Is it A, Keith Ellison, B, Mike Freeman, C, Tina Smith, or D, Jeremiah Ellison? Keith Ellison is the Minnesota Attorney General. Usually the Attorney General represents the state of Minnesota in many civil matters, Yet, in certain cases, the Attorney General's office will be asked to step in to be prosecuting attorneys in criminal cases, like the case of the death of George Floyd. Question 9. Which of the following states in the U.S. besides Minnesota has third-degree murder statutes? Is it A, New Jersey, B, Florida, C, California, or D, Colorado? In Minnesota, third-degree murder refers to someone causing the unintentional death of another while acting in a way that is eminently dangerous and with depraved mind, without regard to human life. The other state that has third-degree murder status is Florida. True or false, the Constitution of the state of Minnesota requires that criminal offenses must be prosecuted in the country in which they occurred. The answer for this question is true. However, sometimes the defendant can make a motion to change the venue of the prosecution, arguing that the pre-trial publicity has interfered with the right to a fair trial. For example, the defendant may have to demonstrate that publicity has made it difficult to find impartial jurors. That's all we have for trivia this week. We'll see you next week.